Supply Chain Management, Chapter 5. In Chapter 5, we talk about transportation and logistics management in the supply chain. And the chapter starts with the various trends that are impacting transportation. So we'll just go through each one of these trends in order. So, omnichannel retailing. Customers are buying more and more products online. The omnichannel is all of the channels in which a customer can interact with the business. So, a physical store location, online, on a website, through a mobile app. So, all of the various ways that a customer can purchase um, our products. The Amazon factor. So, the Amazon factor, as it relates to transportation and logistics, is that with Amazon's guarantee of 1 or 2 day shipping, that has put pressure on other retailers to also be able to offer 1 and 2 day shipping in order to be competitive with Amazon. Globalization. So globally, there's a lot of variety in the available transportation, available roads and bridges. And not only that, but when we're looking at a global marketplace, we have to think about how we get things from one country to another. And this often includes a more complicated logistics structure. Increased risk. We have political risk, weather risk, cybersecurity risk, um, rules and regulations, and then collaboration. So, the need for greater cooperation between supply chain partners for both our demand and risk situations so that we're working with both our customers and our suppliers to provide the most seamless service. Outsourcing is increasing and becoming more complex. So, more and more companies are outsourcing different products and services within their organization, which then requires them to manage all of that outsourcing. Cost and profitability, these are always factors. We want to have the lowest cost possible that makes our customers happy, that allows us to be more profitable. So, if we have lower costs and higher sales, we make more money. So, what we're looking for is the transportation and logistics that we can get to serve our customers for the least amount of cost. And then our system integration. So, our IT systems, any software systems, how we're managing our current transportation network, and knowing that all of those systems can talk to each other across different softwares. When we talk about the US transportation regulation and deregulation, so we have two major types of transportation regulation: economic and safety environmental. So all movements in the US are subject to safety and environmental regulations. Even things coming from inside of the US and things leaving the US have environmental and safety regulations. There are regulations about how you can or can't ship things, which things can or can't be shipped internationally. And then economic regulation is where we talk about carrier rates, services, routing and scheduling, service levels, and other safety and environmental issues. We would have theft, working condition, hazardous material shipment, terrorism, all the things that impact that. In the United States, the very first piece of legislation to regulate transportation was passed in 1887 called the Act to Regulate Commerce. That was initially looking at regulating the train industry or the railroad industry. There is a 2 page list in your book about various legislation that has happened throughout the years since 1887 and how it has impacted the transportation industry. Various things like in 1966, the Department of Transportation was established. Um, In 1994, we have the Federal Aviation Administration Act that looked at air travel. So there's a long list of acts and the dates they enacted and the impact on transportation. One of the more recent acts for transportation and logistics that isn't in the book yet is that last year Congress changed the age for truck drivers, the legal age for truck drivers from 21 to 18 in an effort to help alleviate supply chain issues caused by a lack of semi drivers. So they were hoping by dropping the required age to 18, they would be able to recruit more people into being truck drivers. Then we have various different transportation modes. So we have 5 major modes of transportation and then some ancillary modes of transportation. So first is motor, truck, car, across road. So motor is the single most popular rate. So in the US, motor counts for 70% of all freight, and in the European Union, it's 75% of all trade. The advantages of motor transportation are that it can get so many places. Anywhere that there's a road, motor transportation can get to. It's generally low cost, it's available to us 24/7. Some disadvantages are that we have weight limitations on our highways. We might have weather situations that pose risk. Then we have rail or railroad tracks. Okay? So railroads count for quite a bit of traffic. They can take more weight and quite a bit more products and materials all at the same time than like a single semi trailer could. So rail can move far more product than motor can. One of the disadvantages is that it can only travel wherever there's a railroad. So it can only go from one railroad station to another. And if you need to travel to places there aren't railroad, then you would need the secondary transportation of motor in order to get there. Air. So air is usually considered a fast. It's definitely faster than rail and faster than water, but there are weight limitations. You can only put so much weight on an airline, and it is the most expensive mode of transportation. Most places look at air as a last resort for transportation. And we have water transportation. So water, we have oceans, canals, seas, lakes, rivers. We can carry a lot across water. So you've seen those big cargo ships that we can hold. So we don't have weight restrictions. And when we talk about international travel, we have to consider water. So it's very difficult to get things from one side of the world to the other without factoring some type of water shipment. And then pipeline. So pipeline is mostly for water, natural gas, oil, um, slurry, petroleum products, etc. Again, they can only travel wherever pipeline is laid. And because it's limited to those very specific types of products, it's not used by a wide variety of people. Okay? And then we have intermodal transportation. And intermodal transportation is where we combine the various types of transportation. So, for example, where we look at the transportation starts on the water and it ships from Europe to the United States, it comes to a port, and then once it's unloaded, it's either loaded onto a rail or to a truck, then it goes to its next stop, and then it would generally go to a truck for its final destination. And so that intermodal modes of transportation are where we combine the major modes of transportation to work together alongside. So it's very rare that we can use just a single mode of transportation and get products to everywhere that we need to do. Okay, and then our ancillary modes. So first we have freight forwarders. So freight forwarders um, act very similarly to wholesalers, where we send, so with a wholesaler, uh, manufacturer sends products to the wholesaler, and then wholesalers sell to businesses, and businesses sell to customers. So the wholesaler is an intermediary. That's what freight forwarders do. So they offer to consolidate shipments, share shipments to help save money and lower costs. So if you know that you want to ship something, but you don't have enough that could fill an entire container on a semi truck or a rail or a ship, across the water, then you could use a freight forwarder who would find a partial load that had room for your shipment to find lower costs for you. The Shippers Association Cooperative. Um, so this is much like the freight forwarder, but they work with small to medium-sized companies, and they manage transportation services on behalf of members. So if you join this member association by paying a fee, then you'll get the benefits of the fact that they negotiate with the different travel agencies to negotiate costs. Okay? Then transportation brokers, and this is someone who arranges the transportation of products and charges a fee to do so. So with the transportation broker, we would just say we have things that want to be shipped. We'll pay you a flat fee to do it, and you worry how to do it. And then they take care of all of the logistics and shipping. Our intermodal marketing companies, this is much like a shippers association. However, they specialize in providing piggyback services. So those piggyback services are our intermodal services. So that's piggybacking motor and rail, piggybacking water and rail, and then small package carriers. The small package carriers are UPS, FedEx, USPS, US Postal Service, and how we connect with them, usually to do the last mile delivery to get from a warehouse or a store to the individual customer's house. Okay, so we'll continue discussion of chapter 5 in the next video.